Hello, everyone. St. John Neumann Parish, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay while I hunker down with COVID at home. Thank God my symptoms have been relatively mild, and I hope you are doing well too. I thought I'd do a reflection on the gospel today for the parish. And I'll start with just the experience we all have at times where we question everything. I mean, the big kinds of crises that happen in life, a midlife crisis where we ask, okay, was the trajectory I was on, was it the right one? Do I need to make changes in my life? Is this all there is? Or maybe it's the crisis with a job or with love. You know, will I find a new job, or can I find love? Am I lovable? A betrayal where we find it hard to get over. You know, can I forgive? And can I ever trust again anybody? A trauma that changes our existence. Can I get past this pain? Can I trust again? The same applies, it seems to me, when the world is turned upside down by a pandemic. Are we going to be okay? Who might I lose to this sickness? Will jobs come back? Will we be able to keep our home? Can I even trust just to go out among people in the area? It seems to me the gospel passage today is an excellent one, though, to reflect upon during a time of pandemic and in the face of lots of struggle and questions. A lot's going on in it. Let me walk you through it. First, Jesus learns of the death of John the Baptist. It wasn't a death where he was home and surrounded at the end of a long life by his loved ones. It was a brutal death in a dark prison by an evil leader. And what is Jesus's immediate reaction? How do we know what's going on inside of him? It's very brief what it says, but it says a lot. He wants to withdraw. Clearly, he needs to grieve his cousin's death. And I suspect he's questioning, is this what happens when you preach the kingdom of God? Will this happen to me? Should I continue? Is this ministry I'm doing worth it? Jesus clearly needs to have some time to himself to find some perspective after this huge blow. But then, in this very brief account, you know, as is so typical in the Gospels, the crowds find him even before he can have some time alone. Now, as he's getting off the boat, I think he would have been perfectly justified to say, folks, today's not a good day, and y'all need to come back in a week. I need some time. And I think it would have been perfectly understandable if that had been what he had done. But Matthew says that when he sees the crowd, his heart is moved with compassion. And it's that compassion that he feels that helps him know he needs to go back into his ministry. He's called back into it. He cures people. He engages this life of ministry again. It's because he cares. And it's because he cares he won't sink into a despair or deviate from his mission. It's kind of like the old saying that when you get thrown by the horse, you need to get right back up on it. Jesus is pulled back into his ministry. In part, I wonder if so he won't become afraid of it. Then there is the extraordinary sign of feeding the crowds with loaves and fishes. In other tellings of the story, it's a story about giving a sign of God's lavish care and love for his people. And that's the case here too. When he ministers, he offers this kind of expression of God's love. But here, I think that God, the Father, is also giving Jesus a sign to reassure him of God's lavish care and love, because his own heart had taken such a blow with John's death. I think it was just as important for Jesus to receive that miracle as it was for the crowd that received it. As we live in a time of pandemic, when we may be questioning many previously held assumptions, the gospel then tells us we do need to grieve our losses. We will need the time and space to let the tears slowly wash the pain into something less painful, and to bring perspective once again. Perhaps too, our grieving will enlarge us and ultimately make us more compassionate because we understand what people go through. When I might think that I should be all about looking after my own interests and giving up on some of the things that I've been working on or engaged with, you know, it also shows us that compassion can call us back into engagement with life. We may have to be creative in a time when we still must observe social distancing but we can still offer loaves and fish. We can speak words of encouragement. We can pray. We can care. My faith in the goodness of people has been given a huge affirmation by all the expressions of support that have come from so many since I announced I had gotten sick. Talk about a lavish sign of God's care and love. In the end, we believe God can transform what seems to be empty or dead inside of us when we let our hearts love again, when we risk just caring. From the gospel today, Jesus seems to understand what we go through. As for him, look for the signs of God's lavish love that helps us stay faithful to the mission to be kingdom people. Stay well, everyone, and God bless you.